Thank you, Dan. Good afternoon once again. And there is little talk of a dress rehearsal for the upcoming FA Cup quarter-final around Ewood Park here today. Both managers, both sets of players and both clubs are firmly concentrating on the league, with Sheffield United hoping to keep themselves in Burnley's slipstream in the automatic promotion places, and Blackburn looking to cement their place in the playoffs. But of course, if they can win here today, they'll be 6 points behind the Blades, and maybe they'll be having thinks about a late tilt towards the top two as well. A reminder of the team news: if we go back to the previous league games, one change apiece for Blackburn. Harry Pickering comes in for Callum Britton at left back. They won 3-1 at Queen's Park Rangers last week. Pairs Rankin Costello, Carter, Hyam and Pickering there back four. Travis and Buckley, Thomas, Smoditz, Dolan and Gallagher. And for Sheffield United, Anil Ahmedhodzic is suspended. Chris Basham makes his second start since November. Foderingham in goal. Basham, Egan and Robinson. Bogle, Berger, Norwood, Fleck and Lowe across the middle. Njai and McBurney in attack. And we are underway here at Ewood Park on a grey, chilly afternoon in East Lancashire. Sheffield United in their red and white stripes, black shorts and black socks. Blackburn Rovers in their famous blue and white halves, and it's the Blades attacking the Blackburn end away to our left-hand side in the first half, and they quickly win a free kick. Omar Bogle, the player who was being caught, and an opportunity for Sheffield United to deliver the ball into the penalty area early on.
Yeah, I think just looking at the Blades, Nige, they've set their intentions out really early. It's a ball straight in behind the Blackburn defence. They put them under pressure. It's gone into Big McBurney. He's forced the error. It's a free kick in a good position. I think this is going to be really key in these opening 20 minutes of the game. Who manages this moment well?
Norwood and Fleck are over the free kick for Sheffield United. Every single Blackburn player is back defending in the line on the edge of the penalty area, and it's whipped in by Fleck and it's headed away by Travis all the way back towards the last man, who was Lowe, but his ball forward is quickly cut out and then played forward looking for Sorba Thomas, but Foderingham comes out to hammer the ball away for Sheffield United. Long downfield, and Njai will chase on this near side, but he's beaten to it by Carter. And now a long ball played forward again. Gallagher in pursuit, but there's calm defending by Egan on the edge of the penalty area. And on what is a fairly patchy playing surface in some areas, Sheffield United look to work the ball forward. It's now played wide towards the far side by Hyam, but it's quickly cut out by Jayden Bogle, who has McBurney in support for Sheffield United, but Bogle has given the ball away. Now Gallagher lays it in field, and there's a chance for Blackburn to break forward here with Carter up towards the edge of the penalty area. Rankin Costello with a high ball in, but it's claimed well by Foderingham, wearing all yellow, defending the Sheffield United goal away to our right.
Yeah, that's brilliant goalkeeping from Wes Foderingham. It's the type of thing you want your goalkeeper to do when both sides are trying to find that space in behind early on.
Sorba Thomas now closes down a clearance from Robinson on this near side. Back again towards Travis. A high swirling ball towards the far post. Gallagher was the only player waiting. Dolan unable to keep the ball in play, and it will be a goal kick for Sheffield United once again.
Yeah, it's been a really fast start by both sides, Nigel. I think that what you can find here is it's a real key test for both backlines. You've just got to get the distances right. They've got to be aware of the space in behind. A lot of direct play, forwards looking for it. And like you say, the surface is not the best surface this time of year, and it gives defenders a real problem if you can put them under pressure.
McBurney rising high to flick the ball on for Njai, who breaks into the penalty area down the left-hand side. Has time to turn around, support from Bogle, but he's given the ball away, and now Smoditz plays it wide to this near side. A raking ball to pick out Thomas, but it'll be a good battle between Thomas and Lowe down the Blackburn right. This time Lowe is able to get a boot in, and it will be a throw-in for Blackburn. Great support has made the journey across the Pennines from South Yorkshire to East Lancashire. Around 4,000 Sheffield United fans massed in the Darwen end away to our right-hand side. We're expecting a crowd of around 16,000 here today. The top tiers of both of the stands at either end are closed, and the Riverside stand on the far side is fairly sparsely populated, as it tends to be these days, but Blackburn is a relatively small town, and after their glory period in the Premier League 25 years ago, they've rather reverted to type.
This is probably one of the first big tests this afternoon. It's a long throw for Sheffield United. It's gone out to the left-hand side.
And Robinson just taking his time, and Robinson hurls it high towards the 6-yard area. McBurney looking to rise, but it's cleared, and then it's hooked wide by Berger again towards Robinson. A low ball into the penalty area. It's deflected up in the air by Travis, and then the back heel from Robinson, releasing low, almost breaks to Egan inside the box. Half-hearted appeals for handball as it's blocked, and now Thomas will bring the ball clear for Blackburn. Smoditz over the halfway line down the right-hand side. He comes in field. Gallagher is the decoy. Now Dolan on the edge of the penalty area, further wide, and the low shot is fired in, and it's an absolutely brilliant goal for Blackburn Rovers, and Sheffield United find themselves under pressure straight away. A sweeping breakaway, and the Blades all caught up field, and in the end it was hammered in at the far post, and Blackburn Rovers, thanks to Harry Pickering, the left back who was forward, can celebrate a dream start. They lead by 1-0.
Well, what a fantastic goal, and great start for Blackburn. I mean, that is from that goal has stemmed from Sheffield United's attack. It's come right from the edge of their own box. Great play by Sober Thomas, awareness, composure to pick out a central pass, and then from then on in it's Thomas and Dolan and Smoditz that break all the way through to the edge of the Sheffield United penalty area, and what a fantastic finish by the left back Pickering into the far corner. Gave West Foderingham absolutely no chance. Fantastic start for Blackburn.
And you have to wonder really what on earth he was doing in that area of the pitch at the end of that breakaway.
Well, you will, but he obviously, he sensed that it was a good opportunity. I mean, the passing and the interplay was absolutely first class. You'll have to watch the goal when you see it back, but it's a fantastic goal from Blackburn's point of view.
And Harry Pickering is not a regular goal scorer by any means, but that was a brilliant finish, driven in from the corner of the penalty area. It's his first goal of the season. What a time to score it, and what a manner in which to score it. And it's his first goal since November of 2021, when he scored in a 4-0 success against Peterborough here. And Blackburn lead by 1-0, and Sheffield United find themselves under pressure away from home again with 6 minutes played on Talksport 2.
Yeah, I mean, the only point I would maybe bring up here, Nigel, is the fact that, when you do play with wing backs and you do want them to get forward, we're talking about Jayden Bogle here being in advance, and Blackburn got numbers forward and exploited that space in behind him, and it ended up with the ball in the back of the net for the Blades, and they've just got to be aware of that.
Now a high ball played forward for Blackburn again, looking for Tyrese Dolan, headed away by Jayden Bogle, and it will be a throw-in for Blackburn, 10 yards inside the Sheffield United half on the far side. 7 minutes played on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0 at the top of the EFL Championship. The table at the start of play, Blackburn 76 points, Sheffield United 64 into the playoffs, Middlesbrough 57, Blackburn 55, Millwall 54, Luton 54, and Norwich just outside the playoffs on 52. But Blackburn, of course, with a win here, would move above Middlesbrough into third place, 6 points behind Sheffield United. And you were saying before kick-off, Neil, that if Blackburn are to have any hope of automatic promotion, this really is the last chance here today.
Yeah, probably so. And you can see that in the way they started this game now, to be honest with you. They're really on the front foot. Really apparent that they're missing out that central midfield area where obviously Sheffield United are really strong. We've not seen much of Ollie Norwood in this game so far. And obviously it's an important part of that game for them. But I just think that, from Blackburn's point of view, they've got to try and keep this momentum going.
Headed away by Bogle, midway inside the Sheffield United half, quickly played forward by Travis again. They're looking for that switch to the left for Dolan. But on this occasion the blades will clear, and now at the other end Carter will try and deal with Njai, but Njai's won it back by the corner flag on this near side. He never gives anything up, Iliman Njai, and he's done well to win a throw-in, taken quickly into Berger, and now laid back towards Fleck down the Sheffield United left-hand side. Berger now on the edge of the penalty area, drives it in low, but Pears is behind it on the edge of the 6-yard area.
Yeah, brilliant strike from Berger. As soon as he got the sight of goal, he's pulling the trigger, but that's all about Iliman Njai and his work rate, and you know, that's him in a nutshell. Chased the ball down, put it under pressure, made it got his body in, kept it for the blades, and worked an opening for Berger. But it's going to be a cracking game this. His chance has been at both ends so far.
And from the goal kick, Pears finds Sam Gallagher, who flicks on, but only straight through to Wes Foderingham, who had no chance at all. With the early goal from Harry Pickering, his first for 16 months. And it's given Blackburn a very early lead here. They're in their best form of the season. 7 matches unbeaten in the Championship since a 4-0 loss at Rotherham in mid-January. And of course they were known for not drawing games for a long time. Then they drew 4 in succession after 32 without one. But they've won their last 3 against Swansea, Blackpool and Queen's Park Rangers. And they're a dangerous opponent for any team at the top. And Sheffield United have had a few of those recently, losing to both Middlesbrough and Millwall. And they would have believed they steadied the ship with that very tight 1-0 victory against Watford last week, thanks to an own goal. And they followed that up with their B team, basically, against Tottenham in the FA Cup and beat them as well. But overall, Blackburn 10 games unbeaten in all competitions, their best run since they were heading out of League One 5 years ago. Now McBurney looks to find the wide open spaces down the left for Lowe on this near side, but the pass was woefully overhit, straight out of play. It will be a goal kick, and really that ball wide to Lowe should have come sooner. Yeah, I mean it was the obvious ball out from McBurney, but he turned and went the other way. It was spotted in the end, but obviously too late. I just think what has been a real feature as well, and noticed on this good run of Blackburn's, is the fact that, you know, they did want to play out from the back. The risk-taking was a little bit too much in the early parts of the season. If you look at Blackburn now, they're far more measured and they're far more adaptable to mix the game up, and they play out when it's on, and you know they've got far more common sense in the play. And this is apparent today as well. Both managers on the edge of their technical areas. Jon Dahl Tomasson to the left and Stuart McCall, the assistant manager, to the right. Paul Heckingbottom serving the second of a 3-match touchline ban, and he sat not too far away from us in the director's box, and he won't be enjoying what he's seeing at the moment, with 11 minutes played here on Talksport 2, and Blackburn leading Sheffield United by a 1-0. Harry Pickering with a very early goal for the home side. Sheffield United currently 7 points clear of Middlesbrough. Of course, they developed a 3-point swing last week, winning their game, and Borough lost 2-0 at West Bromwich Albion. Now Thomas for Blackburn with a ball down the line on this near side for Travis. There was a nutmeg on Robinson, but Lowe was there to cover and very quickly clear the ball downfield. Now Njai on the halfway line, forced back into his own half, back towards Robinson again, and a high ball forward, looking for McBurney, but he's beaten to it in the air. Good leap from Dominic Hyam, but Sheffield United quickly win it back, and they should dominate the midfield area. They have the extra player in there, and of course bags of quality. And now Berger manages to ride the challenge of Dolan. He waits for the overlapping run of Bogle down the right. The early cross into the penalty area, headed away well at the near post by Carter. McBurney was lurking, and another long ball played forward for Blackburn. Gallagher wins it, flicks it on, but there's nobody up with him.
No, they're almost getting a breather. It's, you know, they've been put under a little bit of pressure here from Sheffield United.
Now Lowe with another deep cross into the penalty area, finds Bogle on the other side. He's around the back, a low ball in, and there's a couple of ricochets, and in the end the final touch was off Carter, and it bobbles into the arms of Pears, and there were some appeals from about 120 yards away from the Sheffield United fans claiming a back pass, but in the end it was claimed by the Blackburn goalkeeper. And Sheffield United, of course, without Anil Ahmedhodzic today, they've kept 12 clean sheets in 24 games with him in the team, but it's now only 2 in 10 without him.
Yeah, that's apparent today. I think what they've done really well here, Blackburn, they've switched play when it's on, they've switched play quickly, and they're just exploiting the space down the sides of the three centre-backs. Good example of it there, where Tyrese Dolan's bent his run and he's got in behind, and it's been a problem for Sheffield United. It's a breathtaking start to this game. I mean, this is what the Championship's all about, Nige. It's superb football, some chances, both sides really committed.
And you're listening to Blackburn against Sheffield United in the EFL, live on Talksport 2 with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly. Sorba Thomas manages to nutmeg low, but the challenge comes in quickly from Fleck, and now Njai lays it back to Norwood, who will try and pull the strings in the centre circle. Blackburn's last 4 home wins have all been by a goal to nil, but you don't get the feeling this game will finish 1-0 at this stage with 14 minutes play. Now Robinson into the path of the fair-haired McBurney. Fleck into the penalty area now for Berger, tries to dab the ball in field, but a sliding, smothering challenge from Hyam wins it back for Blackburn, and they will look to play the ball away with Buckley over the halfway line. And now Smoditz wide towards Dolan. It's that pass again, and Pickering will chug forward on the overlap and look to outnumber Bogle, but the ball in field from Dolan is a poor one, cut out quickly by Njai, but in turn Gallagher wins it back for Blackburn, and at times it can be quite frenetic and scrappy in the central area, but Blackburn working hard to make light of the numerical disadvantage in there.
Yeah, they're really aware of them three in midfield, Blackburn. As soon as the ball looks like it's going to go in there, there's a striker dropping in to help out Travis and Buckley. It's like you've pointed out, Nige, they are overloaded in there with the extra red and white shirt in their advantage, but at this moment in time, it's started out really well for Blackburn. They look organised, they look switched on, they're on the front foot, and they've got the noses in front.
Now Norwood, midway inside the Sheffield United half, forward to Basham, who is deputising for Ahmed Hodzic. Only his second start since November, but he's been around the first team picture, coming off the bench on numerous occasions in the meantime. And a long ball played forward from the Blades goes straight out of play on this near side, and it will be a throw-in for Blackburn Rovers. And in fact, Paul Heckinbottom was moved, and he's stood about 2 rows behind us now, Neil.
Yeah, he's getting the best view in the house, really. He's right at the back of the stand. They've not started badly, Sheffield United. Obviously the goals are disappointment for them, but you've got to praise how well Blackburn have started. They've got the tactics spot on. Looks like Smodic is getting round Norwood, and that's a real issue for Sheffield United, because everything that's good seems to go through the little midfield player, but they've got their organisation spot on.
He mustn't feel the cold, Paul Heckinbottom. He is stood there just wearing a suit jacket and a shirt, and we're here layered up.
He's a Barnsley lad, mate.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, but you're from near there, and look at you. You're in there somewhere. You've got the heated gilet on today. Now Buckley on the edge of his own penalty area, pirouettes to evade Berger. Buckley again has got support from the peroxide topped Smoditz, and it's a good ball from him across the field from left to right to find Rankin Costello. And now Carter plays the ball out from the back with a good deal of assurance. A long ball forward for Gallagher, who brings it down, but he's outnumbered, but he manages to jab the ball away from Robinson, that eventually breaks for Travis for Blackburn on this near side. 17 minutes played, Blackburn leading here by a goal to nil. Sorba Thomas with a reverse ball back to Rankin Costello. Good ball into the penalty area, but it's claimed well on the edge of a 6-yard box by Fodringham. The early release from him, but it's way over the head of Illiman and Njai, straight out of play on this near side.
Yeah, that was the worst thing of it. He didn't really give Njai any chance at all there, Fodringham, but 2-3 times he's come and collected balls in dangerous situations. The goalkeeper is playing well this season, and it's an important part of the back line for Sheffield United.
Phil Foden has given Manchester City the lead at home to Newcastle. That game is live over on Talksport with Sam Matterface and Dean Ashton at the moment. Here, Blackburn leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. At 3 o'clock on Talksport 2, we have exclusive national radio commentary of Arsenal against Bournemouth with Ian Danta and Alvin Martin. Adrian Durham, live from Stamford Bridge, will have Game Day Live with all the goals as they go in from elsewhere. Tomorrow afternoon, 3 o'clock, Arsenal against Chelsea, the Continental Women's League Cup final with Faye Carruthers, Joe Shannon and Leanne Sanderson, and Brentford against Fulham coming up from the Premier League on Monday night. That's live and exclusive on Talksport. And we're back in the Champions League on Tuesday. Chelsea, Dortmund 1 up from the first leg, back on top of the Bundesliga, winning last night. Full commentary on that game. Reading against Sheffield United will be here on Talksport 2. And Sheffield United looking to build down their right-hand side, and Sander Berg has done well to win a corner kick.
Yeah, this is where they're dangerous, to be fair, Sheffield United. Set plays, they're always well organised, they always get the ball in good areas, got good deliverers. Ollie Norwood striding out to go and take this one. Lots of red and white shirts in that Blackburn penalty area.
Sheffield United have scored 11 goals from corners so far this season, the most in the Championship. The corner is an outswinger, headed towards goal by Robinson, deflected and scrambled away by Pears at the far post. It's a decent save, and the set-piece Kings almost strike again.
Yeah, it's the movement shakes him free, and it's a good delivery, and it's a good header, steers it back towards goal, and a slight deflection makes it difficult for Pears, but it's a good reaction save.
Boos from the home supporters as Robinson uses a towel to dry the ball on this near side, which he's allowed to do. Josh Smith, the referee, is just sorting one or two things out inside the 6-yard area, calls Gallagher and Egan across to him for a word.
Yeah, they've been at it a couple of times now from these long throws and set plays. The referee's just making him know that he's aware of it.
And Robinson is capable of hurling this deep inside the 6-yard area, and that's where a clutch of Sheffield United players are waiting for it. But again, it's defended well by Blackburn, but played back in by Norwood. McBurney challenging for it, almost won back by Basham, and now it is won back by Lowe, but coming across is Rankin Costello, and he does well to clear, and his long clearance took a deflection off Lowe, and it will be a Blackburn throw-in on this near side. 21 minutes played here on Talksport 2, the home of the EFL. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. Harry Pickering, an unlikely goal scorer, with the only goal here so far.
You know, if I was to be hypercritical of Sheffield United, perhaps some of the games I've seen this season, and you know, the goal for Blackburn is come at times when they're vulnerable to the counter-attack. Sheffield United, they perhaps haven't got the legs to stay with runners, and quick play through central areas always seems to give them an issue.
Robinson again throwing long down the line on this occasion from the halfway line, looking for Njai, and Dominic Hyam manages just to get a boot in, but it will give Robinson another opportunity here to get the towel. And the home crowd clearly not happy about this, but it's fair enough, it's in the rules. Robinson again, real height and power, and it's fired in by Fleck, and it bounces away from very close to the goal line towards the far side, and Hyam will clear the ball away, and I think that may have been cleared off the line. Yeah,
they've defended these long throws really well, to be fair, Blackburn, but they're scrambling at times, you know, and if you've got somebody that's got a long throw and you can get the ball in an area, it's almost as good as a corner kick or a cross. So they've got to be careful that they don't give too many throw-ins away in defending areas.
I think Lewis Travis was the player who was in the way of that, a couple of yards away from the line. Now Fleck again on this near side. Oh, it's been given away by Sheffield United. Now Gallagher coming forward for Blackburn down the right, cuts it back, looking for Smodic once again. With Gallagher in the wide area, there was nobody else inside the penalty area for Blackburn, and that's something they may have to solve the longer this game goes on. 23 minutes played. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0 here on Talksport 2.
I do like Gallagher down the middle in that 9 position. Right, to be honest with you, you know, it's an obvious thing to say with the size of him, but his mobility. I mean, I know he got played in wide areas by Tony Mowbray.
Now Basham with a great run forward into the penalty area. Basham still going, but in the end, the shot is straight at Pears. Well, that would have been a goal for the ages from Chris Basham. He picked the ball up on the halfway line, And he just kept going and going and going. He took them all on, but in the end it was a weak finish.
That was an unbelievable run. He must have beat 6 players there, Basham. He's turned away from 2 on the halfway line and then danced his way into the box. It's just the finishing that's lacking, but what a run.
Well, he's not scored for 4 years, Chris Basham. That would have been some way to end that run. 24 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0 at Ewood Park on a grey, very chilly afternoon here. Not quite as cold as it was at Hull last night when we brought you their win over West Bromwich Albion, but still not too far away from freezing point. Now Sorba Thomas, just in front of us, whips in another cross, but too close to Egan, who was able to clear the ball away. Thomas with the ball in field, only picks out Sander Berger. Berger tries to find McBurney, who was off and running, but it's claimed well by Buckley, and now a high ball up towards the edge of the penalty area, cleared as far as Dolan. Dolan claims he was pulled down, but no free kick given for Blackburn, and they will try and break Sheffield United over the halfway line with McBurney, but he never quite had control of the ball, and Buckley is the player who brings it away for Blackburn.
I tell you what, they've ratted after that second ball brilliantly, Blackburn, today. Whenever Sheffield United do manage to get away from one, there's another blue and white shirt after him. It's been difficult for him.
And Blackburn here are a very hard-working unit. Everybody knows their job, and they're not afraid to do the job of 2 or 3 other teammates if necessary. Now ranking Costello, finding Travis, clipped over the top for Sorba Thomas. The ball drops over his shoulder. He's able to cut it back to Dolan on the edge of the penalty. Right foot shot from him, comes back off the post with Fodringham nowhere.
Well, that's just pure luck that's not gone in. Fantastic build-up, great play by Sorba Thomas. Fantastic ability. Tyrese Dolan's so unlucky to find that outside post, and the ball bounces to safety for the Blades, but they're really, really valued for the money at the moment, Blackburn Rovers.
And the adrenaline was pumping there for Tyrese Dolan, because he then lunged in on this near side and just has a word from Josh Smith, the referee. It will be a free kick for Sheffield United, midway inside their own half. 26 minutes played here on Talksport 2. Blackburn leading by a 1-0. Currently heading up to 3rd in the table. Middlesbrough are at home to Reading today. Elsewhere, the leaders Burnley have a Lancashire derby at Blackpool. Millwall against Norwich is another fixture which takes the eye. And of course, both these teams will be meeting in the FA Cup quarter-final in 2 weeks' time at Bramwell Lane, live on Talksport, but no thought of that here at the moment. As Norwood plays a ball forward, a real rarity from him, because it's straight out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, they've nullified Norwood. Schmodic in that 10 slot, and obviously Norwood's dropping in there to try and pick the ball up, and whenever he does look to try and get on the ball, he's got Schmodic stood at the side of him. It's been difficult for Sheffield United to get any sort of controlled play in that central area, and we've got to give Blackburn credit for that.
Well, 11 of 17 Blackburn victories have been by the single goal so far this season, and so far we can see why, because they've got some really attractive approach play, but they're just lacking that cutting edge at times. And now a free kick's been given to Sheffield United, 15 yards inside the Blackburn half. McBurney doing well to control the ball until his legs were swept away by Lewis Travis.
See, any sort of dead ball situation for Sheffield United in the opposition's half, whether it be a throw-in, a free kick, a corner, for me is dangerous. You've got to be switched on.
It's played wide to Njai down the left-hand side, and he's wriggled away from Smodic and delivers the cross into the penalty area, which is deflected behind off Smodic for a corner kick to Sheffield United with 28 minutes played here.
Yeah, and Dyer's really carried the fight for Sheffield United. Just that energy and never say die attitude. He's chased and harried and put people under pressure, won his own ball, and got some good positions from his efforts.
And the corner kick into the box is headed on at the near post by Egan, but straight over the top, and it will be a goal kick. Manchester City still leading Newcastle by a 1-0. That game live over on Talksport. Phil Foden with the only goal so far, and it's goalless in the seven-side derby between Cardiff and Bristol City, which was also a 12:30 start in the Championship. Ainsley Pears, son of Stephen, the former Middlesbrough goalkeeper, will clear the ball downfield for Blackburn Rovers. Gallagher this time is beaten to it in the air by Egan, but it will be a throw into Blackburn on this near side. The third best home record against the third best away record coming into this game in the Championship today. Well, Sheffield United conceded 3 at Millwall in their previous away game, live on Talksport 2 a couple of weeks ago. And maybe they're, if not running out of steam, just beginning to feel vulnerable in second place in the table. And of course they weren't able to do any sort of business in January due to that transfer embargo, and with a mounting injury list that could be telling. Robinson heads it forward now for Sheffield United, and McBurney is penalised for just being caught on the wrong side of Travis, and the free kick taken quickly by Rankin Costello, but too quickly, and it's given away to Bogle down the Sheffield United right. Now Norwood laid into the path of Basham, who of course is very comfortable at joining in and coming into midfield, and that's where he finished the game against Millwall a couple of weeks ago. And Sheffield United were chasing that. A dummy now from Fleck allows the ball to run, but Berger loses out to Buckley, but then Carter in turn has given the ball away again. Fleck clips it over the top, looking for Berger down the right hand side. Bogle makes the run into the penalty area, and here he is, cuts it back, but again Carter was well positioned to clear, only as far as Basham, who was off balance when he hit the shot from the right corner of the penalty area, and it whistles high over the top. Yeah, that's a better passage of play from Sheffield United, more measured. Obviously when Norwood gets involved, it's a lot more controlled, and they got round Blackburn's area quite well with the interplay and the passes and the movement. Sanderberg making the forward run. It's a good ball in the box, but well defended by Blackburn. I have to say, just going to Blackburn as well, Nigel, I do like the fact that, you know, Brereton Diaz has been rested today, because I like the balance of the front four, if you like. Sober, Thomas, Smodic and Dolan, you know, with big Gallagher down the middle. It looks balanced. All four seem to know what they're doing. They interplay well, and I think out of possession they've done really, really well. They've nullified Sheffield United and made it difficult for Norwood to get on the ball, and it's been a big feature of this half. Well, Brereton Diaz missed a couple of games with a hamstring injury. Of course, he's not been among the goals recently, and he's heading out of Ewood Park at the end of his contract, seemingly to Villarreal. And look, it's all about succession planning, and maybe they try to plan already for life after Brereton Diaz. And Gallagher didn't score too many goals when he was forced wide, but now he's in the central area. He's looking a bit more effective as a striker. Scored twice at Queen's Park Rangers last week. Yeah, I just think it looks more natural. You know, you've got wide, quick players, and you've got a good 10 in Smodic. Now Bogle with an enterprising run forward in from the right-hand side, but the ball maybe just bobbled on the edge of the penalty area, and he got it caught underneath his feet, and Blackburn were able to clear downfield again. Now Dolan on the far side, but he runs it out of play, and it will be a throw-in for Blackburn, and the Sheffield United supporters away to our right find their voices once again, with 12.5 minutes to play here in the first half on Talksport 2, and Blackburn leading by a 1-0. Yeah, it was unlucky there, Bogle, to be fair. He just had a touch that he didn't really need, that was a little bit heavy, but both wing-backs have got in some good positions. It's just the space that they vacate when they lose the ball that they're struggling with. Now McBurney lays it wide to the far side, and Bogle, the early cross was driven in, but it was blocked by the goal scorer Pickering, and it will be a throw-in for Sheffield United. And Robinson doesn't make his way across to the left. It's short to Basham. Basham tricks his way into the penalty area, then just overruns it. Smodic will gather for Blackburn on the edge of the D, plays it wide to Pickering. A long ball forward from him. Gallagher will flick the ball on. He'll chase his own flick on down the left-hand side. He's drawn Egan out of the centre, but he runs the ball out of play in doing so, and it will be a throw into Sheffield United.
Yeah, really enterprising bit of play there from Gallagher. Good athleticism. I mean, the size of him, he should win headers, to be honest with you, but he's got the presence of mind to chase his own flicker, and he's really unlucky. That ball must have just gone out.
Pickering goes back towards Hyam, and now Rankin Costello on this near side, one of a number of academy players in this Blackburn team. Tony Mowbray was happy to blood young players during his time in charge, and he really has laid the foundations here for Yondell Thomason to improve on it.
Yeah, and they don't let the team down, that's the big thing. You know, I think they've got themselves established. There's a good balance of youth and experience among this Blackburn side.
Now Thomas brings the ball forward in a central area, but he's just closed down by Lowe, but it squirts out towards the left-hand side where it's gathered by Dolan, who's full of tricks. Back towards Travis, a high cross in looking for Gallagher. He loses out, but the clearance falls to Thomas, but quickly Lowe is able to clear, and the loose ball now finds Norwood. He clips it wide to this near side, looking for Njai. Njai turns and says he wants the ball on the ground into feet, but in the end Blackburn are able to clear through Ainsley Pears, their goalkeeper, on the edge of their penalty area, and the ball really bouncing high on a lively playing surface here. Dolan, the player who has been shoved over by Bogle on the far side, and it will be a free kick for Blackburn. I didn't notice the playing surface being watered here before kick-off. Of course it's cold, it's grey, it's coming towards the end of winter, but it's been a very dry spell in this part of the world, which is unusual at this time of year, and the pitch seems to be showing evidence of that. Yeah, I mean, I think, to be honest with you, if it looks worn from up here, once you get down there, it'll definitely be worn. You know, you can see patches of, you know, where the grass isn't, and, you know, when the ball passes through central areas on the floor, it's very lively, testing the touch of the players. Now, another run forward from Pickering over the halfway line, but now he's given the ball away, and Njai can lay it wide towards Lowe, but Lowe is in plenty of traffic, and it's Sorba Thomas who wins it back for Blackburn on this near side, and they claim that the ball took a deflection, and the assistant agrees, and Sorba Thomas can now bring it forward from the throw-in, finding Gallagher down the right. Egan again has to try and make the challenge, which he does, but Blackburn have a throw-in, and they're looking for these quick restarts all the time to try and keep Sheffield United honest, and they break into the penalty area from Buckley. Buckley claims he was blocked off in the box. In fact, it was Rankin Costello who claims he was blocked off inside the area, and in the end a goal kick has been given, and the referee will just try and calm things down.
Yeah, they're really aware of both wing-backs and their positions. Blackburn, you know, when Sheffield United break forward with, you know, with Bogle and Lowe, they're aware of the space that they're leaving behind, and they've exploited it loads of countless times in this first half. You know, both Tyrese Dolan and Sorba Thomas, with the full-backs joining, Costello and Pickering. And it's an issue for Sheffield United, you know, and unless they address it at half-time, you know, they're going to come unstuck again, I would have thought.
Manchester City still leading Newcastle by a goal to nil. That game is live and exclusive to national radio over on Talksport. Here on Talksport 2, Blackburn leading Sheffield United by a goal to nil. Adrian Durham with Game Day Live on Talksport at 2:30. Arsenal against Bournemouth here on Talksport 2 at 3 with Ian Danta and Alvin Martin. As it's headed away on the halfway line for Blackburn by Dominic Hyam, and Sheffield United will regain possession once again, and there is space and time on this near side for Lowe to bring it forward for Sheffield United. Fleck on the edge of the box, curls it high, looking for McBurney with the header, and it's not too far wide.
Yeah, good effort from McBurney. It's a great ball in, to be fair, by little Fleck. Just sets it up on his left foot and curls it away from the goalkeeper, and he catches Carter Studd, McBurney, and he runs and climbs above him and just steers it wide of the far post. But a lot better build-up play and a good ball into the box by the Blades.
Sheffield United with 57% of the possession so far, 7 shots, 3 of those on target. Blackburn with 2 efforts, one's gone in, the other's hit the post. Now McBurney But he just missed controls, and Hyam was able to guide it back towards Pears again. And Blackburn at times have fed off scraps, but they're working so hard to nullify the attacking threats in the Sheffield United midfield. Yondol Thomason may not be too concerned about that, and of course they've known how to defend a one-goal lead on a number of occasions so far this season.
I tell you, the bit I think they've got right, Nigel, is they've nullified Norwood in that central midfield area, and they've done it with Smodic dropping in. So Thomas and Dolan have come in a little bit narrower, and it's made it a lot easier for Gallagher to go and get after the back three. They've got that spot on.
Neil Redfern, the former Leeds United and Rotherham manager, with us here on Talksport 2 at Ewood Park. 6 minutes to play in the first half. Blackburn leading the Blades by 1-0. Travis nods it down for Rankin Costello to just hook it forward. Gallagher will chase, but the ball will beat both he and Egan out of play, and it will be a goal kick for Sheffield United. And clean sheets have been a major part of Sheffield United's armoury this season. 14, of course. They won't have one here today. Only Coventry have kept more in the Championship. But Blackburn, when they've been on form this season, and their form, remarkably for a side who are currently third in the table, has been patchy at times. Of course, they would tend to win a few and then lose a few. And now they've drawn a few, and they've won a few more. Here is Dolan coming forward down the left for them. Back to Pickering. Infield to Travis, and the shot is fired in from the edge of the penalty area by Rankin Costello. It's blocked by Robinson. A long ball played forward for McBurney to chase, but Hyam gets there first. Now it's Dolan again down the left.
Brilliant play by Hyam there.
Tommy Smoditz clips it over the top. Pickering is forward, a low cross into the box, and it's sliced over his own crossbar by John Fleck, and Blackburn have their first corner in the 41st minute.
Yeah, and to be fair, the corner rate is usually a good indication of how well you've played and how much possession you've had and how many entries you've added to the final third. So Sheffield United can probably feel a little bit hard done by there, with this being Blackburn's first corner, but they've been dogged and resilient, Blackburn, and they've took the chance when it's come.
Sorba Thomas has gone across to the far side to take it, and he could cook something up with Tyrese Dolan. Dominic Hyam has had to go and retrieve the ball from this near side, and he throws a high bouncing ball across the penalty area, which then bounces out of play. I saw that happen at Hull last night. Do they only have single balls here in the EFL? Don't have the multi-ball system?
Must be expensive.
Dolan will eventually take the corner, short to Thomas. Dolan then opens out the angle to drive into the box, and he goes down, and the referee says no penalty. Bogle clears downfield, but there's no one within 50 yards of the halfway line for Sheffield United, and Pickering plays it back wide to this near side again, and Thomas on towards Dolan. Thomas continues his run, so Dolan comes in field. Travis rides the challenge of Fleck, but loses out to Berger, and Fleck now can scurry forward in pursuit of a ball on this near side, but it's tidied up well by Hyam all the way back to Pears. Pears clears long downfield. Good header forward from Robinson to find Berger, and again is not helped by the playing surface here. The ball never quite sits down for anybody, and if you're a technician like Berger or Norwood, it's not great, but they need to adapt to it. Same for both teams, and Blackburn lead here by 1-0, and they're playing some decent football as Hayden Carter plays it forward, but it's recovered by Jayden Bogle, and now Robinson can bring it forward for Sheffield United down the left. Wide to Lowe. Lowe's got support from Fleck, off balance, has to stab it into the path of Norwood. McBurney tries to turn on the edge of the penalty area. Berger takes over onto the right foot. Berger still going, tries one more pass to find Bogle. It doesn't come off, but it comes back to Bogle now. The cross into the penalty area is deflected off Pickering behind for a corner.
Yeah, that's the first time they've looked a little bit disorganised at the back there, Blackburn. It's a good run by McBurney. He finds Berger, and Berger's always dangerous from the edge of the box, and he manages to slip the ball down the side to Bogle, and they scramble the ball away, Blackburn, but and it didn't look that clean from their point of view.
Norwood will take the corner as we approach the 44th minute at Ewood Park. An outswinger from Norwood, McBurney rising, but so too was Carter to head the ball away, and the youngster is having the better of that confrontation at the moment. But it's wide towards Norwood again, dinked into the area for Berger. Down the Sheffield United right, he looks to get to the byline, firing the cross, which is deflected behind again. It will be another corner. And Sheffield United looking to build up some momentum very close to half-time here, trailing by a 1-0.
Yeah, brilliant tracking there from Lewis Travis. Just stayed with Berger, stood up, stayed on his feet, didn't dive in. Made the big midfield player force a decision. So he's won a corner for his team. Don't know what the corner count is for Sheffield United, but it must be entering double figures now.
Not quite that many, but significantly more than Blackburn Rovers so far in the game. And once again, they've lost the ball, so the fourth official, Benjamin Speedy, has to fish one out from somewhere, and it's hoofed all the way across the pitch towards the far side in front of the Riverside stand for Norwood to take the corner. And the corner's whipped in, flicked on by Basham. It was just behind an on-rushing Egan, and Dolan can bring the ball away for Blackburn. And he's clipped an excellent ball forward, and Gallagher could be in here for Blackburn, all on his own, left-hand side of the penalty area, 3 players around him. The crowd tell him there are players in support. It's back towards Travis, and now Gallagher again, pulled back to Buckley. Buckley looks to his right. Here is Thomas. More support now inside the penalty area for Blackburn. Thomas hits the byline. Good cross into the penalty area, all the way to the far post. Dolan with the shot. He drags the effort wide.
Yeah, chance there for Blackburn, really. Just a lack of support for Gallagher. Done ever so well, the big man. I mean, there's 3 red and white shirts chasing him back, but still manages to keep his composure and his feet and keeps playing in and around that Sheffield United area. But in the end, they probably wanted to gild the lily a little bit there, Blackburn. They could have done with getting the shot off a little bit quicker.
Still 1-0 to Manchester City against Newcastle, goalless between Cardiff City and Bristol City. And here Blackburn leading Sheffield United by a 0-0. Harry Pickering after 5 minutes, and we're into a single minute of added time, and there is the whistle for half-time, and the home crowd rise to acclaim their team because they were given the perfect start. Harry Pickering finishing off a sweeping breakaway with a superb finish from the left-hand side of the penalty area. Since then, Sheffield United have created most of the chances, but Blackburn have gone closer to a second goal. Tyrese Dolan rattling the inside of the near post. Half-time, Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. We are back underway here at Ewood Park. Smolitz with the kick-off for Blackburn. A long ball played forward from him. Basham heads the ball away for Sheffield United, who are defending the Blackburn end away to our left-hand side, and in the end it's guided all the way back to Ainsley Pears. And Neil Redfern, we can't really ask what Paul Heckingbottom has said at half-time when he pops back past us in a couple of moments, but what do you think he would have been saying? Well,
I don't think he'd be too disappointed with the performance. I don't think they played badly at Sheffield United. I think that Blackburn...
Here he comes now.
Yeah, Blackburn have played really well, you know, and I think they've got the goal. You know, and I think that Sheffield United have struggled to break them down, and you know, sometimes you get games like that. I mean, he'll probably say, look, you've got to try and take one of these chances, an obvious thing to say, but you've got to try and take these chances, because I think that if Sheffield United get the next goal, then this game will look different.
Well, they need to come from behind, maybe just to soothe a few nerves around the club. If they lose this, it would be 3 defeats in 4 games. As a high ball is played into the penalty area for Blackburn, who are attacking the Blackburn end away to our left-hand side in the second half. Their team is Pears in goal, Rankin Costello, Carter, Hyam and Pickering the back 4, Travis and Buckley in midfield, Thomas, Smolitz and Dolan behind Gallagher. Sheffield United, Foderingham in goal, Basham, Egan and Robinson their back 3, Bogle and Lowe the wing backs, Berger, Norwood and Fleck in midfield, and Jai and McBurney in attack. And now an opportunity for Bogle to try and break into the penalty area, supported by McBurney, who lofts a high ball in, headed away at the far post and nodded back in field by Lowe, but Sheffield United didn't really have the bodies around the penalty area, and it's cleared away, and then Dolan is caught by a wild challenge from Basham just in front of the two technical areas here, and there will be a card at least from Josh Smith, the referee, and it's a yellow one for Chris Basham.
Yeah, I think that's warranted. I think he's been quite patient, the referee. He's let the game flow. It's been competitive, but it's not been nasty, but that's reckless. And to be fair, little Tyrese Dolan, he's felt the wrath of that, still on the floor. But you know, from Sheffield United's point of view, they need to try and up this, because although they're doing all right at the minute, all right's going to get them beat. You know, they're 1-0 down. They need to find another gear.
3 minutes played in the second half here on Talksport 2 at Ewood Park. Blackburn against Sheffield United, with the home side winning by a 1-0. Manchester City also a goal up on Newcastle over on Talksport. And coming up at 3 o'clock, as we heard from the guys at the Emirates Stadium during half-time, Arsenal playing Bournemouth at 3 o'clock. Adrian Durham with all the goals as they go in Game Day Live from Stamford Bridge over on Talksport. Half-time as well at the Cardiff City Stadium. It was goalless between Cardiff and Bristol City. Two sides who've found it really difficult to produce enough goals in recent weeks. Now a long ball played forward for Sheffield United. McBurney brings it down smartly, plays it wide to Njai down the left-hand side. Once again, he has to try and carry the ball across a tricky playing surface and loses out, and Blackburn play it forward again, looking for Gallagher, but in the end it's nodded back by Basham. 16,646 the crowd here today, with 3,724 of those supporting Sheffield United.
It's a good turnout, to be fair. I mean, this is a big game.
Early start, but not too early if you've made the journey from Sheffield to Blackburn, although the road closures on the M62 at the minute just make it a bit trickier as Blackburn try and come forward with Buckley down their right, but it's cleared away again and nodded down by Pickering, who scored a very early goal for Blackburn in the 5th minute. I think we were all surprised to see him popping up on the edge of the penalty area to drive the ball in.
It's obviously a feature of that half for Blackburn. As soon as they regained possession, they broke really quickly for the goal, and it happened 2 or 3 times. The interchanges, the passes got them around the Sheffield United box really quick. And what a fantastic finish from Harry Pickering. We're talking about that for years to come, I'm sure.
If you can hear somebody shouting in the background, I think it's Paul Heckingbottom, who is getting a bit animated at his team's performance at the start of the second half, with 5 minutes played here. But Sheffield United have worked hard to win a throw-in on the far side, level with the edge of the Blackburn penalty area.
Well, we know where this is going.
Yeah. Robinson doesn't have the towel on that side. Has to manoeuvre the ball away from a couple of pitch covers. And there's not a huge amount of room for him to build up a run-up in front of the Riverside stand. But he can still get the distance, and he does here, Robinson. In towards Basham on the edge of the 6-yard area, but again Blackburn do well to win the first ball and then deal with the second one. A high ball played forward again, but Norwood manages to guide it wide towards Robinson. Robinson's ball forward though is cut out by Buckley. Robinson pushes him in the back, and it will be a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, he's done his homework there, young Buckley, because he knows Robinson's 100% and totally committed. And he just gets his body in the way and lets Robinson push him over, and it's a gimme. He's just took the pressure off Blackburn. Needed to keep his hands down there, Robinson, to keep the pressure on Rovers. But they've weathered the initial storm quite well, Blackburn. There's been a bit of a response from Sheffield United, which you'd expect. You know, they don't want to go home empty-handed here, the Blades.
Pears with a long ball forward for Blackburn. Quickly returned by Egan, and it's out of play, and it will be a throw-in. And 1-0 has been enough for Blackburn Rovers here recently at Ewood Park, and that's the scoreline at the moment.
I can't see it being enough today, Nigel. I think that there's going to be more goals in this. Hope that's not the kiss of death, but...
Now Dolan on this near side just has to retreat and pick up a loose ball midway inside the Sheffield United half, and now he can turn and try and attack Bogle. And he's always got a trick up his sleeve, Dolan. But he finds Pickering this time with the cross into the penalty area, which is blocked again by Basham. Nodded down by Buckley towards Pickering. And now Smoditz. And it's worked further wide by Buckley. And the cross into the penalty area from Thomas is headed clear. Berger, though, only nods it into the path of Pickering again. And here is Dolan. Sammy Smoditz with a low ball in first time, which is cut out by Basham at the near post. And under pressure, all he can do is just play the ball straight out of play.
Yeah, that's a nice composed passage of play from Blackburn. Really tight in and around the box. Lots of pressure on the ball from Sheffield United, but kept the composure, moved it really quick, and moved Sheffield United about, nearly fashioned an opening.
It's the 146th league meeting between Blackburn Rovers and Sheffield United, going all the way back to 1894. And Blackburn are Sheffield United's most frequent opponent during their Football League history. And Sheffield United have won 5 of the previous 6 meetings since losing here in the Premier League back in 2007. Now Dolan coming forward again for Blackburn, twisting and turning into the penalty area, leaves it for Travis. Travis comes back onto the right foot. Buckley with a complete slice, but it breaks on the edge of the penalty area for Rankin Costello. He pings in the shot. Thomas with the cross in, which is blocked. In the end, it's headed away partially by Lowe, and then the clearance is completed by Robinson, but Blackburn careering into challenges to win the ball back here. A high ball wide to this near side for Travis again. Buckley wants it back. Travis curls the ball into the penalty area, seeking out Gallagher. Cleared away by Robinson. But here is Thomas with a high ball in again. Gallagher was challenging, and it's headed behind by Basham, and it will be a Blackburn corner.
Brilliant passage of play. Kept the composure, got the balance right on the edge of the box. So anything that were cleared by Sheffield United, Blackburn picked up again. It's a good ball in by Sorba Thomas, and well defended at the far post by Robinson, with Gallagher homing in, but it's a corner now to Rovers.
And it'll be taken by Sorba Thomas, who has had a busy season. Started with Huddersfield at the bottom of the league, went to the World Cup with Wales, and is now challenging towards the top on loan at Blackburn. 54 minutes played, 1-0 Blackburn lead against Sheffield United here in the Sky Bet Championship on the home of the EFL, Talksport 2. And once again the referee is just halting play to have words with Max Lowe and John Buckley. And there has been plenty going on inside both 6-yard areas whenever we've seen set pieces. An in-swinger from Thomas, high to the far post, fisted clear by Fodringham, straight out of play, and it will be another corner.
Yeah, that weren't convincing from Wes Fodringham. He had a fantastic first half, to be fair, nothing he could do with a goal, but he took Sheffield United out of some real difficult situations with his handling and his commitment to go and get things, but that was a little bit flappy from the goalkeeper. It's given Blackburn Rovers another corner on the far side.
And Thomas will now take an out-swinger. And it's a very congested penalty area. Sheffield United have pulled everybody back to defend it. Every single player apart from Ainsley Pears is inside their half. Thomas with the delivery. McBurney flicks it clear. Gallagher wasn't too far away from that. Here is Travis with a nutmeg on Fleck on this near side. Sheffield United have more numbers around the ball, but Travis comes away with it, but his back heel doesn't quite find Dolan, and it's cleared away by Bogle. But a good spell here for Blackburn as they win it back again. Hyam plays it square towards Carter on the far side, and a good ball forward from him, looking for the on-rushing Thomas. It's cleared away as far as Rankin Costello, but the ball in was just behind Smoditz, but it's cleared away as far as Buckley, who hits it with plenty of power from the edge of the box, but it was always rising.
Yeah, that was a great chance, to be fair to Buckley, particularly somebody of his calibre, because he's a good striker of the ball and he's leaning back as he takes his shot and it goes high over the bar. But great passage of play from Blackburn, really controlling this game.
Now Basham with a long ball forward again, headed away by Hyam, and it's brought down by Basham, who's got McBurney in support, but in the end it's won back by Hyam.
I just think Paul Hackinbottom might be on the blower now to Stuart McCall down there. I think things need to change for Sheffield United. It's not working at this moment in time.
Sori Kaba has given Cardiff City the lead against Bristol City. That could be a very important goal for them towards the bottom of the table. Manchester City still leading Newcastle by a goal to nil over on Talksport as Blackburn come forward again now with Dolan on this near side, but he's cut off by Egan, who does well to win it back on this near side. But Smodits puts Norwood under pressure. He runs it straight out of play. It will be a throw into Blackburn on this near side again. You're listening to Blackburn against Sheffield United in the EFL, live on Talksport 2 with Carling, the UK's #1 lager, 18 plus. Please drink responsibly.
They've just upped the game 10-15% here, Blackburn, Nige. Got a little bit more effort. There's a little smell of blood, I think, from Blackburn. They realise that they're on the ropes a little bit, Sheffield United. Flooding bodies forward and making it difficult for them.
And a stumbling Fodringham with a hurried clearance on this near side, which goes straight out of play. And it will be a throw into Blackburn. Don't forget, after the football tonight, live from Twickenham, 5:15 start from the Gallagher Premiership, Harlequins against Exeter with Andrew McKenna and Tom May. And at 8 o'clock we have ongoing coverage from the PGA Tour Golf, the Arnold Palmer Invitational from Arnold Palmer's Bay Hill Club and Lodge in Orlando, Florida. And the third ODI between England and Bangladesh begins 5:30 on Monday. Now Fleck plays it wide to the far side again. The low cross in is cut out by Travis, but quickly won back by Lowe for Sheffield United. A real ebb and flow to this game at the moment. Robinson back towards Fleck. A high cross in, McBurney will challenge, but he's lost out to Hyam in the air. And Blackburn central defenders have won so many aerial duels so far. Now Dolan down the left-hand side. Smodits coming forward on the overlap, but he comes in field to create the space for Dolan to try and hit Sheffield United on the outside. He goes back towards Pickering. Buckley plays a 1-2 with Travis. And Sheffield United here are having to do a lot of chasing. They're seeing plenty of the ball, but Blackburn now looking dangerous again. Smodits being pulled down by Norwood on the edge of the penalty area. The referee either didn't see it or tried to allow the advantage. And Njai will try and break now for Sheffield United.
Well, that was a blatant pull, to be honest with you. How the referees missed that, I don't know. We must be a good 500 yards away from it here, Nigel, and that was blatant.
Travis wins it back from Njai, and now a long ball played forward for Gallagher for Blackburn. On this near side, it's cut back to Smodits inside the area. Great block, but it's back towards Smodits again. He tries to bulldoze his way through as he did against Leicester on Tuesday in the FA Cup. And Sheffield United make heavy weather of the clearance, but eventually it's bobbled away on this near side, and you can hear the home crowd are believing a second goal could be imminent.
Yeah, they've gone here a little bit, Sheffield United. Just need to gather themselves because the tails are up, crowd are behind them. They're on the march, Blackburn.
Now Sorba Thomas again. His cross in though is blocked by Lowe. Thomas will allow the ball to bounce. And this game, a great advert for non-league football here today with Sorba Thomas and Iliman Njai, World Cup players earlier this winter, who both came through non-league in recent years. Now Smodits. Good knock down from Gallagher to find Smodits on the edge of the penalty area. Oh, the shot! Curled right foot, it comes off the top of the crossbar with Fodringham beaten, and Sammy Smodits so close to what would have been a brilliant goal.
Well, he's been brilliant today, Sammy Smodits, for me. He's taken care of Norwood. I mean, Norwood's disappeared out of this game. And he's supported the front really well, and he's so lively in this opening second half. Link plays, got efforts at goal. I mean, that's so unlucky. It's bounced off the top of the bar. Look at some changes being made now for Sheffield United. I'm sure Paul Eckenbott will be looking at this and thinking this isn't good enough. If we're going to get ourselves up there, we need to get something out of this game, and it needs to change.
Well, they're taking off Bogle and Fleck, and they're bringing on George Baldock and John McAtee. James McAtee, I should say, my apologies. Well, Baldock has taken his position on the left-hand side. And now he switches over to this right, his more familiar area. Unjai has support from Baldock again. Baldock, of course, a player who's coming back from injury, but did start the game against Tottenham in the FA Cup on Wednesday. Basham slides into a challenge. He's on a yellow card, Chris Basham. He could be in trouble here. A number of Blackburn players are pointing out that fact towards the referee. The studs did seem to be raised there by Chris Basham. The referee is giving himself a long time to think about this. Josh Smith. And it was Pickering, the player, who was caught. Basham was quick to apologise.
Interesting what the referee does here, Nigel, because to be honest with you, that's a yellow card offence.
Yeah. If he hadn't already been booked.
He's just calming people down, I think, the referee. It's been good today, to be fair.
Yeah.
The referee, you know, he's made for this being a good game. He's allowed challenges to go on, but he's clamped down on anything that's a little bit cynical.
Well, the referee is actually talking to the Blackburn captain, Lewis Travis. Basham has done well to get himself a long way from the action here.
Is that the fourth man ruling when they get round the referee? Because that can be a yellow card offence as well, can't it? So
another change for Sheffield United, and they're switching another wing back here with Max Lowe coming off and Ben Osborne coming on.
Makes sense, to be honest with you, from Paul Eckenbaum, because they need to do something a little bit different. They've not played badly today, Sheffield United. Second half hasn't started too great for them. Blackburn have been really, really good, but they need to change it, and he's not hanging about.
63 minutes played. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. Sheffield United heading for their third defeat in 4 games. High plays it forward, and now Smoditz wide to Rankin Costello, but it will be cut out by Osborne. His first involvement in the game, and Njai offering support down the left. And here is Iliman Njai now. Berger is square of him. There could be space for the shot, but Berger pokes it wide to Baldock. Baldock with a low cross in, which is deflected into the arms of Pears.
2 or 3 really good shooting positions there, Nigel, don't you think? You know, and I just think that I don't know why players move the ball wide when the goal's in the middle. I know it's an obvious thing to say, but Berger picks the ball up there. OK, he's getting put under pressure, but it's time to have a touch and a shot at goal there. To me, that's passing the buck.
George Baldock playing his first league game since January the 2nd. And I tend to think that Sheffield United look a much more balanced side when he's in the team.
Yeah, absolutely agree with that.
Greek international. 20 minutes played in the second half. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. Coming up, following us, Arsenal against Bournemouth with Ian Danta and Alvin Martin. Then Game Day Live with Adrian Durham, live from Stamford Bridge. All the goals as they go in. Chelsea against Leeds will be the game he's watching. Wolves against Spurs, also a big match again today. As Gallagher comes into the penalty area now for Blackburn, it comes to Dolan, who curls it, and it's blocked by Basham on the edge of the 6-yard area. And Berger plays it long downfield. McBurney able to flick on, and Njai is beaten to it by Carter. And you were saying pre-match you wondered how Carter would cope with McBurney and Njai, and so far he's done pretty well.
He's been brilliant. I thought it might be a problem for him, but I mean, although he's won quite a few aerial duels, McBurney and Njai's gamble the right way. They've read it as a defensive pair perfectly.
Still 1-0 to Manchester City against Newcastle, and that game is live and exclusive to national radio over on Talksport. Cardiff still leading Bristol City by 1-0 in the 7-side derby. Elsewhere in the Championship at 3 o'clock, Blackburn Burnley, Huddersfield Coventry, Luton Swansea, Middlesbrough Reading, Millwall Norwich, Rotherham Queen's Park Rangers, Sunderland Stoke and Watford Preston, with a big game at the bottom, Wigan against Birmingham. Now Dolan has been caught by Norwood on the halfway line. Norwood not happy with the decision to give the free kick, and he won't be happy either with the fact he's been booked.
Yeah, great energy from little Tyrese Dolan. He's been a real handful all this game, to be fair. you know, that three just in behind Gallagher, Thomas, Schmodic and Dolan have been absolutely fantastic for me. Carried a threat, great work rate, great effort, good craft. They've worked their way in and around the box well. And Dolan gets, all in all, with a yellow card.
Well, Paul Heckingbottom, who is stood a couple of rows behind us with the Sheffield United analysts, won't be happy with what he's seeing here. As we approach the midpoint of the second half, his team still trailing by 1-0. And Jai does well to hold the ball up, then juggles. He was fouled there, just pulled back by Buckley. And there was a bit of afters as well, and the referee just needs to keep a lid on a rising temperature here. Lewis Travis is also down, the Blackburn captain, claiming he requires treatment.
I don't know if he was stamped on there, not stamped on but trod on. He's put his arms up to the referee, referee's lifted him. Well, he's been brilliant, the ref, today. It's been really good.
Well, there have been a number of fraying tempers all around him, but he's not been fazed by that. Now Robinson in towards Njai, and again Blackburn win the challenge, and then Gallagher has been bowled over on the far side by Robinson. There's another Blackburn player who is down there, and the fans on the far side are claiming that McAtee left a good deal on Rankin Costello.
There's been a couple of petulant challenges, haven't there? And they're just testing the referee's patience, I think, a little bit. I mean, it's not been a nasty game by any stretch, but...
One or two nasty challenges.
Yeah, but I just think that Sheffield United feel this game's just slipping away from them a little bit. Starting to leave a bit on Blackburn. I can't help but thinking, though, if they can get Njai on the ball in any sort of half-decent position, that's their way back into this game.
And there's a bit of chatting going on between Robinson and Travis as well, as the free kick is launched high into the area. Gallagher and McBurney, the two number 9s, go down. The referee allows play to continue, and Sheffield United are able to clear, and then it's given away as they look to build. But now McBurney gathers just inside their own half. It's extremely frenetic. There's a clear shirt pull by Schmodic there on McAtee, and then both players square up, and Jai is quickly involved to pull Schmodic away from the situation. He'll receive a yellow card here, the first one for Blackburn today.
Yeah, well, that was an easy one for the ref. Definitely a yellow card. I mean, he's been brilliant today, Sammy Schmodic. What he doesn't want to do is mar a really good performance by getting another yellow and a red. Temper's just starting to fray a little bit.
And Sammy Schmodic's a player who has been around for some time, mainly in the lower leagues. Of course, was in the Championship with Peterborough last season, but he really seems to have found a home here at Blackburn, and a style of play which gets the best out of him. Free kick for Sheffield United here, and we're inside the final 20 minutes. They still trail by 1-0. Norwood delivers it high. Basham heads it across the face of goal, hooked on by Berger, but it was always over the top.
Yeah, it's a chance. It's a poor finish from Berger. It's not really a natural finisher from midfield. He should score more goals because he's got absolutely everything. I mean, he's a beautiful build for a centre midfield player. 6 foot, powerful, good strike of the ball with either foot. But that's a sloppy finish. It's his chance.
Well, Blackburn have only scored more than once, twice in 17 games in the league. And at the moment, they don't need to score more than once because Sheffield United have not really created anything in the second half.
To be fair, they've got to be pleased with the way this second half has gone, Blackburn. They've been absolutely outstanding. It's as good as I've seen them.
Billy Sharp will be on shortly. McBurney goes down, tangling with Carter. I think the ball actually struck McBurney on the hand. Play continues. There have been 1 or 2 challenges here which would be calling mass brawls in the Premier League, but it's good to see that the players are just getting on with it here. Stockley Park would have steam coming out of the monitors at times. Dolan with a high ball played forward for Pickering again. Looks to fire the ball in, but Norwood with a sliding challenge blocks the cross, and Sheffield United will clear, but McBurney has given the ball away. And now Dolan with a lovely touch to pick out Smodic down the left, but Smodic never quite had control of it, and Basham wins it back for Sheffield United. Now wide to this near side,
look at the energy of the press.
And
Brilliant.
look at the Blackburn players who are getting around the ball. That chaos theory of 2 or 3 players around the ball every time they lose it, and as a result, Baldock under pressure knocks it out for a throw into Blackburn in an attacking area. The work rate of Blackburn has been incredible, considering we are inside the final 20 minutes, but McAtee has now been caught by Gallagher, and it will be a free kick for Sheffield United. And we know that a number of Sheffield United players have been playing with injuries due to a lack of numbers elsewhere in the team, and maybe that's been telling late in games.
Well, and he's had to manage his players, accordingly, to be fair.
Now Osborne's got space down the left-hand side, pulls it back to McAtee. First time ball in, is cleared away at the near post as far as Robinson. He fires at the shot, deflected by McBurney, but into the arms of Pears.
Yeah, they're not having any luck neither, to be fair, Sheffield United. I mean, that could have gone anywhere. It's a good strike by Robinson. It flicks off McBurney, and it could go anywhere and into the back of the net, but straight into Pears' arms. Not done a lot wrong today. Pears is such a really accomplished goalkeeper. Blackburn have been fantastic this half.
Billy Sharp and Tommy Doyle will be coming on shortly as a long ball is played forward again from Pears, looking for Gallagher. Sammy Smodic will keep it in play. Pickering tries to find Travis, but Sheffield United will win it back, and McBurney spreads the play wide to the left-hand side on the halfway line, and Osborne infield towards Norwood. Robinson takes over. Sheffield United still looking to press down the left-hand side with Osborne, and the ball forward from McAtee to try and find him was overhit, but it took a deflection, and it will be a corner kick. And will Sheffield United make the changes? Not before the corner kick is taken. Still goalless in League One, by the way. 12:30 kick-off between Morecambe and Bolton. Corner kick high in towards the far post again. Egan with the header, and it's onto the roof of the netting, and it was never really going to trouble the goalkeeper from there. Manchester City now lead Newcastle by 2-0 over on Talksport. Bernardo Silva with the second there. Coming up at 3 o'clock here on Talksport 2, full commentary of Arsenal against Bournemouth, also from the Premier League. Let's get team news and say good afternoon to Ian Danter.
Afternoon to you, Nigel. 3 changes for Arsenal from that 4-0 thumping against Everton. We brought you on Talksport in midweek. Tomiyasu, Partey and Vieira come in, those dropping out. White, Jorginho and Granit Xhaka dropping to the bench. 2 changes for Bournemouth, both forced on Gary O'Neill after the defeat to Manchester City. Lerma and Traore both missing, injured. Rothwell and Semenyo come in, so it looks like the Cherries will come in to play 5-3-2. At the Emirates, Arsenal against Bournemouth, live on Talksport 2 from 3 o'clock.
Cheers, Dance. Basham and Norwood are the players to go off for Sheffield United. The players coming on: Tommy Doyle and Billy Sharp. Cardiff now lead Bristol City by 2-0. Jayden Philogene with the second goal at the Cardiff City Stadium. That's a massive result for Cardiff. That puts real pressure on the 3 teams below them at the bottom of the table in the relegation zone to get something today, as Billy Sharp tries to keep the ball in play on the near side. Appeals for a corner from him, and 3,500 Sheffield United fans behind that goal for the goal kicks being given.
Yeah, brilliant by Hyam, by the way. He's been absolutely outstanding today at the back. Both him and Carter, to be fair. They've kept the composure. They've marshalled the front too well. Looks like Sheffield United have gone to 3 up top now, with Ndiaye just in behind in the hole. McBurney, Sharp and Ndiaye up front. 3 in midfield, Doyle in the centre.
Flicked on now by Doyle, and it falls to Ndiaye for Sheffield United. Was he fouled on the halfway line by Gallagher? He was, and it's a free kick to Sheffield United.
Yeah, it's a foul and nothing more. I mean, he's like all the Blackburn players have worked hard. He's got a yellow card for that. I'm not sure that is a yellow, to be honest with you. Maybe because he kept hold of the ball.
Yeah, I think it's more for the dissent and the time wasting.
Yeah.
Sam Gallagher also booked in this game. Now McAtee two Manchester City youngsters at the heart of midfield now. The crossing from McAtee on the left is cleared. Blackburn have defended magnificently. A succession of cross balls into the penalty area. So as a result, with 77 minutes played here on Talksport 2, it is still Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield United 0. This always looked like a tricky game for Sheffield United, and it's turned out that way.
Subs have just given them a little bit of impetus, Sheffield United. Look a little bit busier and a little bit brighter now, more comfortable in possession.
Egan with a high ball forward again, and he's found Baldock down the right. Baldock will try and hold off Pearson, who scored the only goal in the 5th minute here. Baldock by the corner flag, back heels it to try and release Berger. Berger pokes it into the path of Unjai, who has done so much of his work a long way from the penalty area here today. And Sheffield United end up with a throw-in 10 yards from the corner flag. It's in towards Doyle, but he only picks out Dolan, who, like him, came through the academy at Manchester City. And a long ball downfield is straight out of play, and Blackburn now are in full defensive mode.
Yeah, I'm just looking at John Dal Thomason and that midfield area where...
He's not made a change.
No, Schmodic and Dolan and Thomas, you think they might be just starting to flag a little bit. 10 minutes to go. I don't think you can take Travis or Buckley off. They've been outstanding, and they don't look...
Well, 9 of these players played against Leicester on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, it just shows you, so he's probably thinking he can get as much as he can out of them. They definitely look comfortable in the shape. There's no two ways about it.
Sheffield United away to Reading, live on Talksport 2 on Tuesday night, and at home to Luton next. That's the big game as well, around the top 6. And of course these two sides will meet again in the FA Cup quarter-final at Bramall Lane, live on Talksport in a couple of weeks' time. And that means that Blackburn's big game here at home to Burnley has been moved until the final week of the season. You would imagine Burnley will have the championship done and dusted by then, but Blackburn could have all sorts to play for, as Baldock with a cross in from the right-hand side, and it's deflected behind off Smoditz, and it will be a corner kick here for Sheffield United, and we have 10.5 minutes to play.
Yeah, the pressure's just starting to mount now. To be fair, the changes have worked for Paul Leckinbottom. They look fresher, they look brighter, forcing the impetus now.
Doyle with an out-swinging corner high into the penalty area, and it's headed away all the way back towards Osborne, who is the last player, 10 yards inside the Blackburn half. Doyle down the line for Baldock again on the right, but he's quickly closed down.
Yeah, just got to be careful here, Blackburn, Nigel, because when as that ball gets cleared here, they're slow to come out. It's almost as if they're trying to get a breather here. Whether Thomason refreshes it a little bit or what, gets some legs so they can get up the pitch, but...
Robinson with the ball forward for Baldock, who heads it down, but he's offside. And the momentum and the impetus has now gone from Sheffield United for now.
See, they're the little things that you just can't get wrong when you're chasing a game. Baldock has looked really good since he's come on, but get yourself caught offside, it gives Blackburn a chance to trundle up the pitch, get themselves set. It's not going to play out from the back now, they're going to go back to front.
Blackburn have had one shot on target in the entire game. It went in.
Here we go.
And they lead by a goal to 0. And here are the changes for Blackburn. Ben, Brereton, Diaz and Ryan Hedges will be coming on very soon. Billy Sharp chasing on this near side, and all he can do is just knock it out of play under pressure from Hyam. And Tyrese Dolan is coming off.
Brilliant little fella today.
And he'll be replaced by Brereton Diaz, and Sorba Thomas will also make way for Ryan Hedges.
Yeah, he's not been as influential this half, Sorba Thomas. Don't surprise me. Ryan Hedges. There he comes off.
Well, Thomas hasn't really got round the back in the second half. He's been looking to deliver those crosses in from less advanced areas, and really at this level with 3 central defenders ahead of you, it needs to be a brilliant ball.
I think, to be fair, he's mucked in from the other stuff, you know, the out of possession stuff. He's chased back, tracked back and give him energy and balance on that right hand side, but he's just faded from the game, you're right.
But have Sheffield United done enough in this game? With 8 minutes to play, a goal down. They've not played badly. They didn't play badly at Millwall.
No, not at all. I mean, you know, and if they'd have scored today, you wouldn't have batted an eyelid, but I think the two centre-backs have been outstanding for Blackburn, that's one thing. Goalkeepers looked assured. And the front four, the original front four, I thought pressed the life out of the Blades in the first half.
Brereton Diaz flicks on. Here is Smodits with the ball back into the penalty area. And he almost found Hedges. Gallagher has now gone to the left with Brereton Diaz down the centre with only one goal in his last 15 games. Now Berger, just halted by a great recovery challenge from Buckley. And so many of these players who came through the Blackburn Academy, and they've really grown with this club in recent years. They're a long way from where they once were, but in many ways they've got the stability now.
It's a credit to the club as well and the vision, Nigel, to be honest with you, because it's definitely in line with the rest of the club.
Sharp tangling on the far side with Hyam. Hyam clears the ball away, almost takes out a young supporter who was on the stairwell in the Riverside stand, but it will be a throw-in.
I'll tell you what, Carter and Hyam will sleep well tonight. They've headed and kicked everything out, haven't they, to be fair to them. Been brilliant.
6.5 minutes to play. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. On Talksport 2, Arsenal against Bournemouth coming up at 3 o'clock. So this could be another significant result at the top of the table. Robinson with a high ball in. McBurney goes down inside the area. Doesn't get the decision. Blackburn are able to scramble the ball clear. Cardiff still lead Bristol City by 2-0. Manchester City still 2 up on Newcastle. McBurney heads it down inside the box, but only picks out Rankin Costello, and he can bring the ball a long way clear now for Blackburn. Looks for Sammy Smodits on the halfway line, but he doesn't find him. Still Morecambe 0, Bolton 0 in the closing stages in North Lancashire. That would be a very good point for Morecambe, fighting relegation against a Bolton team who are very well set in the playoff places. A long ball back towards Pears again for Blackburn as we tick towards the final 5 minutes. And we both thought in the early stages this game wouldn't finish 1-0, but it looks like it probably will now.
You're right, and it's not for the want of trying. You know, from Sheffield United, they've thrown absolutely everything forward. Had no luck in front of goal, missed opportunities. We're not done yet.
Played forward now by McAtee in towards Njai, but the ball doesn't stick again, and it's won back well by Carter, and Blackburn will try and break over the halfway line. Hedges with an excellent ball forward. Brereton Diaz in space on the left. The cross in though was too high for Gallagher, and it will go out of play on the far side for a throw-in.
Well, surely that was a ball that just needed to go along the floor across the 6-yard box. He tries to lift the ball, Brereton Diaz, and Gallagher shakes his head in disgust.
Now Brereton Diaz again on the edge of the penalty area. Looks to work the 1-2 with Hedges, but it's broken up by Doyle. Long ball forward from him, and Carter very calmly guides it down into the path of Rankin Costello, and Blackburn are able to clear. Brereton Diaz back towards Pickering. He looks like being the match winner here. 4 minutes to play on Talksport 2. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. One or two Sheffield United fans beginning to head for home. Rankin Costello just allows the ball to run out of play, and it will be a throw-in for the home side. Middlesbrough will kick off at 3 o'clock against Reading. Looks to be a home banker. You never know in the Championship, but if they win that, once again, it is game on.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I mean, this is the last thing that Sheffield United wanted. And I think when you start looking at the fixtures, particularly with the cup fixture and how great it was for Sheffield United to win over Spurs, but probably a game that they didn't really want going into this game, because if they could have put Blackburn to bed today, they're nearly home and dry. But as it is, if this stays like this, then it's a big problem for Sheffield United.
Another Blackburn player has gone down with cramp on the far side. The referee is actually offering medical assistance to try and keep the game going. And Sheffield United are at Reading on Tuesday, live on Talksport 2. Reading, of course, are facing a potential points deduction, and that would put them right in the mix at the bottom of the table. Cardiff beating Bristol City at the moment, so they will be pulling 6 points away from the bottom three. Wigan against Birmingham is a massive game down there today. If Birmingham lose that, they will be right in it as well.
It's getting to that time of the season, Nigel, isn't it? Both ends of the table where points are so crucial.
In fact, Cardiff would be 7 points away from the bottom three, but if Wigan beat Birmingham, they would only be 4 points behind them. Now McAtee for Sheffield United, but it's cleared away again by Rankin Costello. Gallagher looking to turn away from Egan. Egan was caught on the wrong side, hauls him down. That's a yellow card.
Yeah, and it just buys a little bit more time for Blackburn as well. Cute from Brereton Diaz, just sucks Egan in, flicks the ball around the corner, and I think it's Brereton Diaz that probably grabs Egan and drags him to the floor, and it looks like the defenders fouled him, but he's earned Egan a yellow card. Referee's been spot on with everything today, to be honest with you. Mr. Josh Smith been absolutely brilliant.
And it's going to be a free kick for Blackburn, and there seems to be a problem here, maybe in the main stand. Everybody has stood up around us. It could be a medical issue involving a spectator, which seems to be to the right of this near side. Both of the technical areas were beckoning the medical teams towards that. I think it's in the lower tier of the main stand, which is out of our view here. The television monitors are not showing any of the pictures, understandably. The Blackburn safety officials are also down there as well, and play has been halted here in the 90th minute. It looks to be very close to the touchline, just to the right of the Sheffield United technical area.
Yeah, looks to be one or two people really concerned.
Yeah, everybody very quickly stood up at this side of the main stand to direct attention towards the referee. The fourth official has shown 5 minutes of added time, but at the moment that may be academic because play is not carrying on at the moment. The referee has pulled in both sets of teams, and there is real concern down there in the lower tier of the main stand, and more members of the St John's ambulance and the paramedics are quickly running to the scene, and both sets of players are just milling around here, and there's nothing they can do, and at such a key stage of the game we have a stoppage here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's things that are far more important than football.
Absolutely.
And this is one of them.
Well, it does seem that play is about to resume here. Both sets of players are regaining their positions. We had a delay of around 2 minutes there. That will be added on to the 5 minutes, so I would think 7 minutes of playing time left in this game.
To be fair, it can go on for another 10 for me. It's been brilliant, hasn't it? What a fantastic game.
It's been extremely intense. Only one goal, but an absorbing contest. Buckley with the free kick, volley cleared by Baldock, only into the path of Brereton Diaz. The Chilean international is challenged by the Greek international in Blackburn. It's a global game.
Good spot. Well, I think they're going to take the time over everything now, Blackburn, to be fair. They're in no rush. They're in the ascendancy. Clock's ticking down. It's up to Sheffield United to force the issue now.
And there are Blackburn fans leaving. How can you leave when you're 1-0 up against one of your promotion rivals in added time? But there you go. Pickering back again towards Brereton Diaz. And he clips it back to Travis, but he's given the ball away, but all McBurney can do is just jab it over the touchline, and it will be a throw into Blackburn again, and they can take their time here.
Well, they've actually managed the game really well here, Blackburn. They must have used up a good nearly 3 minutes where Sheffield United can't get the ball out of this bottom right hand corner.
Pickering will take the throw-in on this near side. His goal in the 5th minute, still dividing the two sides. And Blackburn here are just winning a succession of throw-ins on this near side. That's all they need to do at the moment.
Yeah, it's good play. Great management.
There will be a 5th successive home win by a 1-0 scoreline. But now Hedges, wide on the right. I would assume he'll head towards the corner flag, and that's where he's gone. And we are 3 minutes into added time. 5 were shown on the board, but I would think we have around 4 minutes left here due to the medical stoppage and the 5 minutes which were originally allocated.
You can't help but feel that there's going to be another chance here, to be fair, how this game's gone.
Manchester City still leading 2-0 against Newcastle over on Talksport. Cardiff 2-up on Bristol City, and Morecambe 0-0 with Bolton in League One. McBurney now is beaten to it on this near side, and now Brereton Diaz heads it forward. Smodic seemed to use his hand there to guide it into the path of Brereton Diaz, not seen by the officials. Smodic will continue. It is cleared away by Egan up to the halfway line.
Brilliant. Hyam, outstanding.
Hyam again with a commanding header forward. Berger back towards the edge of his own penalty area. Sheffield United look to play their way out, but here is Brereton Diaz as Blackburn win it back. Buckley with a ball forward towards Gallagher. Right foot shot deflected into the arms of Fodringham.
Yeah, it's the last place it needed to finish for Blackburn. It's gone right in the hands of the goal. He's waving everybody up the pitch. West Fodringham's got to get it up there quick.
Long clearance downfield. McBurney will challenge, and he's won the ball. Lays it back to Njai in the centre circle. Njai forward towards McBurney. The ball is wide towards the left again, and Osborne back to Berger. Left corner of the penalty area. Berger comes in field. It's very narrow, but here is Njai. Gets the ball out of his feet onto the left foot. Challenged by Travis, but he still found Berger. Berger comes in field again onto the right foot, and now it's Doyle. Doyle unable to get the shot in. Egan lifts it wide towards Osborne again, down the left-hand side, high cross into the penalty area. It's headed clear, but it's Egan who gathers, drives in the shot. Brilliant block by Brereton Diaz. Takes all the sting out of it, but a high ball back in again. McBurney heads it up in the air. It's brought down by Rankin Costello, but he's given the ball away. Now Berger fires in a right-footed shot, deflected behind, and Sheffield United have a corner in the 96th minute.
Yeah, they're hanging on for grim death here, Blackburn. Defended really, really well. Obviously, huge urgency now about Sheffield United. They know they're in the last throes of the game. They keep that clean sheet intact, Blackburn.
Sheffield United have scored 18 goals from set pieces so far this season. They desperately need number 19 here now. Doyle will take the corner. They've not sent Fodringham forward at this stage. It's an in-swing towards the near post. Gallagher with an excellent header away. It's controlled though by Osborne. Wide towards Doyle again, who looks to wriggle away from the challenge. He's been fouled, and it's a free kick, better than a corner, on the far side, the right.
Yeah, Hedges has just come on. He's just got to stand up there with Doyle. It's a good touch. He wrestles him to the floor, and it's like a corner in a far better position, sort of midway between the penalty box. Just can't relieve the pressure, Blackburn. I mean, this would be a fantastic point for Sheffield United if they could wrestle something out of this.
Ticking towards the 97th minute. This will surely be their final chance here. And the free kick will be taken by Doyle, who scored from a set piece at Millwall 2 weeks ago, but he'll be looking to pick out a teammate here. Doyle into the near post, headed behind by Brereton Diaz. It's a corner, and the pressure continues right to the end. The Sheffield United fans get the ball back quickly. This is the game right here. They've got to score now, or the full-time whistle will go. Foderingham does not come into the area. Doyle high in. Oh, he whips it onto the roof of the netting, and that surely is that.
Well, a little bit of inexperience there. That ball's just got to come into the box. It can't go dead straight for the corner flag. Sums up Sheffield United's afternoon.
Harry Pickering's got the man of the match. Well, they could have given it to maybe half a dozen players.
Yeah, any of them. They've been brilliant. To a man.
He scored the goal, though. And this is a big win for Blackburn. We can't yet rule them out of the chase for automatic promotion. If we're talking about Middlesbrough, now we have to talk about Blackburn Rovers as well.
Yeah, and the run they're on, to be fair, Nige.
It's all over. Blackburn Rovers have done it. Sheffield United suffer a third league defeat in 4 games, and their blip continues, and Blackburn now move to within 6 points of them at the top of the table. And once again, Middlesbrough have an opportunity to crank up the pressure on Paul Heckingbottom's team. They conceded early and never really showed the craft and guile to get back into the game. Blackburn worked incredibly hard, and for that reason alone, they deserve their victory. Full time, Blackburn Rovers 1, Sheffield United 0.